Federal government says it will continue to enhance welfare of communities in oil and mineral areas. Islamic extremists claim recent attack on police officers in Abuja, say FCT Commissioner of Police.
Many of them have confessed to the crime.
And security experts recommend deployment of sophisticated surveillance systems to curb vandalism.
I will rule it out. There are no reasonable person, no logical person, any money from any of this infrastructure will go for the destruction of the infrastructure.
Federal government says it is genuinely committed to enhancing the welfare of host communities. This commitment was ruled out by Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Hanakin Lukubiri, who reiterated government's commitment to ensuring the benefits of oil production extend to local communities. Lydia Sampson reports.
Reiterating that the success of the oil industry depends on the active participation of all stakeholders, Henikin Lukobiri is most particular about the host communities, whose welfare, he says, is paramount. He added that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to addressing every necessary obstacle and concern to achieve the goal of increased crude oil production, as stipulated by the PIA.
Yes. And so I want to use this opportunity to solicit for your support, and by extension, solicit for the support of all traditional rulers, in Promo clan, and indeed Bayelsa State, to work with us, so that we ramp up, production. That is the only way more money can come to the host comes, fund. Where the more oil that you produce within the domain, the more money you have in that cluster. And so I want a solution where it will be a win-win situation for everybody.
The minister reiterated this when he received a delegation from the federated communities of a Keremo local government area in Bayelsa State, who paid them a courtesy call to express their displeasure over what they describe as perceived neglect by operators within their community. He commended them for their unwavering support and partnership with the federal government in safeguarding the nation's shared resources. He assured them that immediate steps will be taken in addressing all the issues they raised, including matters related to the host communities trust fund. Lukobiri urged them to continue their steadfast support to the federal government in ramping up crude oil production. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
And the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA, says it has facilitated the production of 90 million NPK fertilizers for farmers through the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative. Musa Abubakar reports that the authority disclosed this at the stakeholders roundtable held here in Abuja.
It's a music to the ear that the number of fertilizer blending plants in Nigeria had grown from 4 to more than 80, courtesy of the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative, PFI. This roundtable provided platform for stakeholders to assess the impact of the PFI on boosting local fertilizer production and distribution, as well as enhancing agricultural productivity across the country. With food inflation rates exceeding 30% and widespread concerns about food security, the discussions focus on how the initiative can be further strengthened to stabilize food prices and ensure sustainable agricultural growth.
To date, the PFI has facilitated the production of a staggering 90 million bags of NPK fertilizer. Through this program, we have witnessed a revival of our domestic fertilizer blending plants, an increase in the diversity of products available to our farmers.
As an association, we believe that maximizing cost efficiency will reap benefits of reducing transaction costs with no risks and ultimately reduce the price of the blended fertilizer.
Fertilizers lead to
the production of wholesome foods.
This is part of efforts being made to ensure the sustainability of the program beyond government support by fostering private sector involvement. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, Nta News.
And the Fiscal Responsibility Commission, FRC, has told the subnational governments to domesticate the Fiscal Responsibility Act to achieve financial transparency. Executive Chairman of the Commission, Victor Morocco, in a message disclosed this during a study visit by the Bauchi State Bureau of Public Procurement in Abuja. Alika Okmanachi Arwa reports.
Complementing the federal government's renewed efforts to counter financial recklessness, the Fiscal Responsibility Commission is categorical that domestication of its acts at state levels remains the major antidote. The chairman atomized the benefits of domesticating the acts, which include attracting assistance from international organizations.
The Fiscal Responsibility Act makes it mandatory for us at the federal level to go down to the states and help them build capacity so that they will know how to operate the laws at those levels of government.
The Bauchi State delegation is quite certain that financial management in the state will receive a new style.
We enjoy it really, and we are learning a lot. Checkmating, we have department in some ministries, directorate in some ministries that are checking out all these things.
So far, we are so much impressed of the high level of the warmly welcomed by the officials of the Fiscal Responsibility Commission, and we expect much from them.
Besides the domestication of the act, it was unanimously agreed that interaction between the Fiscal Responsibility Commission and the state government is needed to actualize financial transparency. In Abuja, Alika Okpanachi, Arua, Nta News.
And security experts are recommending the deployment of sophisticated surveillance systems such as drones and CCTV cameras within 5 kilometers of power installations in the country. Now, discussing protecting power installations in Good Morning Nigeria today, the experts say this could help in mitigating the recurring attacks on power infrastructure. Kimini Williams reports.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria says 20 attacks were recorded between January 2024 till date, leading to destruction of 40 towers of 132 30 kVA lines across the country and resulting in compromise of power supply in the country. Security risk experts Dr. Kabir Adamu identified those behind these attacks as ideological non-state actors and criminal groups seeking pecuniary benefits. Dr. Kabir had recommendations on how these can be addressed through policy initiatives and security measures.
The solution is to have a strengthened, effective risk management department that doesn't only look at security risk, but look at all the other variants of risk.
That we have money from the market, that you know if you are not being paid from the market, you might not get your salary. And you are being well paid, you will never be participating in that. You will not be interested in that because you know the strength, the strain on us whenever this thing happens. So I will rule it out that no reasonable person, no logical person, any money from any of this infrastructure will go for the destruction of the infrastructure.
Dr. Ben Eze, SCG Critical National Assets and Infrastructure of the National Security and Civil Defense Corps, spoke on some of their efforts that have resulted in the apprehension of power infrastructure vandals, as well as their community engagement, while Deputy Chairman of the House Committee on Public Assets, Ismaila Haruna Dabu, urged for more sophisticated approach to tackling this crime.
The approach we are in is to incorporate both the community and everyone, because the protection of these national assets is the business of everybody.
We need to do more. The TCN and the security agencies, let them meet and look on how they can get a serious modernized surveillance that can cover at least 5 or 4 kilometers away from the towers so that they can be able to protect it.
The guest also suggested that the Office of the National Security Advisor should collaborate with the National Space Center and NITCOMSAT to develop a security risk framework to protect power installations. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, Nta News.
And the federal government is also accelerating access to electricity in the country with deployment of mini-grids and solar home systems, and also connecting more than 1 million end users in 1 year. Now, Managing Director of Rural Electrification Agency, Abba Aliyu, says more communities will be connected to bridge energy gap. And our correspondent Joshua Ojito reports.
With a mandate to providing affordable electricity to areas not covered by the national grid, as well as unserved and underserved communities, Rural Electrification Agency says it is sustaining trajectory to light up communities. A scorecard of the agency's performance in 2023 shows that more than 330 kilowatt peak of mini-grids have been deployed across the country, with 2,631 solar home system units delivered to communities across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
We have secured additional funding of $750 million to start the implementation of the DARE project. The DARE project is the biggest public sector funded project in the off-grid public sector funded project in the entire world. And the target of that project is to electrify 17.5 million Nigerians.
Also, 18,300 solar street lights have been installed nationwide, covering a distance of more than 500 kilometers. Through its intervention of energizing agriculture and boost irrigation, the Rural Electrification Agency in 2023 deployed 1,668 solar water pumps, impacting 24,000 hectares of farmland. Projecting into the future, the agency is poised to drive federal government policy for 30% energy mix, thereby increasing access to electricity through renewables. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
All right, and let's take you now to the southeast, where the low participation of students in that political zone in the federal government students loan scheme, it's been addressed by governors and lawmakers from the zone in consultation with affected institutions. The Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu, gave this assurance in response to concerns expressed by the Southeast Caucus in the National Assembly over alleged exclusion of the region in the list of benefiting institutions released by the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFund. Kalu notes that relevant statistics obtained from NELFund reveals that issues of full registration of students from that zone against the total number of students in schools in the region accounted for non-shortlisting of the names. He says that mistakes were also identified in the completion of relevant forms by affected institutions, such as non-inclusion of JAMB results of the students. The Deputy Speaker says steps are, however, being taken by the Southeast governors and lawmakers to create more awareness on the students' loan scheme to increase the number of applications and beneficiaries from that region. This is News Desk 3 on Nta News 24. Thank you for joining us. Welcome back. Now, Nigeria Tunlip International Cloud says it is aware of the rapid advancement artificial intelligence AI technology is bringing into educational systems, and it's now equipping its workforce with necessary skills to meet up with the latest advancements in teaching and learning. Now, Managing Director NTIC at the annual Teachers Training Workshop added that the institution remains resolute in sustaining a mutual responsibility for students' success in all facets of life. Olushaya Adeagbo reports.
It's few weeks to the resumption of the 2024-2025 academic session, and the Nigerian Tulip International College says its mandate remains sustaining its decades of legacy. Preparations to achieving its set targets is on course as NTIC brings its group of educators from its branches nationwide, primarily to equip them with modern techniques of imparting knowledge when the new academic session commences.
As NTIC, which has a legacy of 26 years, so we have always looking for the best and excellence. Of course, we would like to introduce new things to our programs, so to enrich our educational quality that students are going to be enjoying in our classes, like introducing digital education to our program, to our educational program, like coding, and then like Innovatic Center.
You can connect your class dojo on your phone as well. Now, for example, I'm displayed there, and it's also connected to my phone.
The NTIC 2024 Teachers Training Workshop is named Teaching Excellence in Digital Age, and Elder Yilmaz has been speaking on its benefits.
The world has transformed digitally so that every day new AI tools are coming up and new programs are coming up. So we want our teachers to use these new programs, new things in their classrooms to make the classrooms more interactive.
In separate extensive sessions for NTIC teachers in its secondary, nursery and primary schools, instructors from relevant fields seek to acquaint the participants with immeasurable benefits of artificial intelligence and how to make it unconditionally functional.
Training and retraining, they are very, very key in quality assurance, particularly the NTIC that is really bracing up for quality. Teaching is not static, it's flexible. So with time, you imbibe new ideas.
This has been our tradition for many years, and we hope that this year will not be different. Our teachers will gain more and do well with our students in the next academic session.
We'll be sharing educational documents, resource materials to ensure that our teachers go back to their various states to deliver what they know how to do best. And another year of NTIC winning for Nigeria in education.
With long list of academic achievements attained in last session to include the 2024 JAMB examination, where 60 of the NTIC students scored more than 300, a new record in the college history. The management is upbeat of better performance in future engagements. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, Nta News.
And the outgoing Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, Ahmed Rufai Abubakar, has handed over to the new Director General, Mohammed. The brief handing over ceremony took place at the headquarters of the agency in Abuja. While formally welcoming his successor, the outgoing DG introduced him to the management team of the agency and thanked the President for appointing his successor from the agency, which was necessary for smooth takeover and continuity. The new Director General, Mohammed, solicited the cooperation and support of the management staff and also pledged to dedicate himself to the fulfillment of the agency's mandate. Now, arrested Islamic extremists who recently attacked and killed police officers at the police post in Abuja have claimed responsibility to the crime. The FCT Commissioner of Police, Benneth Igwe, made this known while speaking to a correspondent in Abuja.
The Shiite people were arrested, many of them have confessed to the crime, and we are planning to bring them to the press and take most of them to court, because they came and they killed the policeman. Many of them are in the hospital. 4 of them are in the hospital now. 3 men and 1 lady, the woman police. The 2 that died, we are consoling their family. As I finished talking to you now, we are going to their families. So, and they have confessed to the crime of being members of the Shiites and taking part in killing of the policemen.
The Commissioner of Police adds that they will be prosecuted accordingly. Meanwhile, the police officers injured in the attack by members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria responding to treatment. Commissioner of Police FCT Bennett Igwe gave the indication in an exclusive interview with Nta News at the command headquarters. Here is Nta with the report.
At the close of response operations to the unprovoked attacks Sunday morning, the number of hospitalized victims rose to 4. Amongst them is the divisional police officer Wuse. Commissioner of Police Bennett Igwe describes their situation and response to treatment as encouraging.
I am just from hospital now, where I have gone to see the men, and 4 of them, the 3 men and the 1 woman, they are responding to treatment, including the DPO of Wuse police station. They are responding to treatment. So, by the grace of God, we pray that they will survive.
The CP hinted that the Inspector General of Police has offered to take responsibility for the victims' medical needs.
The IG is a good person. He has agreed to respond to their treatment and take care of some of them. So I'm so happy about that. I really want to thank the IG.
The victims have been transferred from the Wuse General Hospital to the Muhammadu Buhari Police Hospital, Area 11. Nta.
And you're watching News Desk at 3. Here are the top stories in our news. Federal government has given strong indication that it will continue to enhance welfare of communities in oil and mining areas. Islamic extremists confess to recent attack on police officers in Abuja, says FCT Commissioner of Police.
Many of them have confessed to the crime.
And security experts recommend deployment of sophisticated surveillance systems around power installations to curb vandalism.
There are no reasonable person, no logical person, any money from any of this infrastructure will go for the destruction of the infrastructure.
This is Nta News 24.
And Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo is reaffirming his administration's commitment to fulfilling every promise he made to the people of the state. Governor Ododo was speaking on the occasion of the state's 33rd anniversary. Now, the governor says he will be guided by his manifesto and the state's 32-year development plan designed to usher in sustainable development, improved infrastructure, enhanced security, and a brighter future for the people. He calls for continued cooperation and ideas from the people to build a state that generation to come will be proud of to call their home. Governor Dodo commends sacrifices and legacies of founding fathers and many leaders of the state, especially immediate past governor of the state, Yahaya Bello, whom he says have served the state with dedication and laid the foundation for development to stride. He also applauded the mentorship of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom he says leadership and support for development of the state and nation is evident in his renewed hope agenda that is already giving hope to Nigeria and Nigerians. The governor describes the recent Supreme Court's judgment affirming his victory in November 11, 2023, November elections as a win for democracy, as he calls on all, including the opponents in the opposition, to join the march towards a progressive Kogi State. Kogi State was created in 1991 from the old Kwara and Benue states. And there will be time for another news desk, and that will be at 6 later this evening. But you have the chance to catch up with more news at 4 on Nationwide. I am Claire Adelabu Abdurrazak. Bye-bye.